On a cold, cloudy London afternoon, Georgi Markov, a translator for the BBC, waited for the bus to arrive to take him to work. It seemed like an average day. Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his upper thigh. He turned to see a mysterious man reaching down to pick up a black umbrella. The man said, "Pardon me," and hailed a cab, disappearing into the bleak morning. 4 days later, Georgi Markov was dead. This is the story of the poison-tipped umbrella.
Welcome back to Your Next, the podcast for people who know that every case is more than just what makes the headlines. It's what falls through the cracks that keeps you up at night. I'm Emilio.
And I'm Sergio. Surprise! I'm your new co-host and resident skeptic. Emilio's been kind enough or reckless enough to let me join the show. I'm excited to help ask the uncomfortable questions and occasionally remind us to breathe.
Definitely reckless enough to to be doing this.
Taking a chance,
100%. So before we dive any further, I wanted to take literally 1 minute just to acknowledge something important. As you just heard, Brooke is no longer behind the mic. I want it to be known that I love Brooke, I miss her, and I loved building this show with her. We ended things completely amicably, and timing, life, and all of that just shifted. Who knows, she might even pop back in the future, whether it's on Your Next or a totally different project together, because she's brilliant and I'm forever obsessed with her. So with that said, we've got something different going on. It's exciting, it's invigorating, and we wanted to let you in. So Your Next is entering its next chapter.
And I'm looking forward to meeting her as well.
Yes.
And yes, we will still laugh at the absurd parts of humanity because sometimes that's the only way to process it, especially these days.
Yeah, 100%. Every day when you wake up to a news article, it's like, God damn it, just laugh it off.
Oh yeah, like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I think we're done with the news today.
Yeah, that's enough. Well, I'm so excited. Sergio brings a lot to Your Next. He has a brain wired for deep dives, a background in podcasting, and enough cynicism to keep us honest. We're still doing what Your Next does best, obsessing over the stories that never got closure or enough coverage, letting you into our world and minds and giving you the full picture.
Yeah. And if anything, we're doubling down. More cases, more context, and more chaos. Well, organized chaos.
So today we're kicking things off with a case that honestly couldn't be a more perfect introduction about the future of the show. You'll see what I mean. Are you ready?
So today's episode is the death of Georgi Markov. This case is full of complexity, intrigue, and a James Bond-style story with dictators, Cold War politics, spies, defectors, international assassins, and a killer umbrella.
A fucking killer umbrella. This is why I only trust ponchos.
I don't think I have a poncho, but I see your point.
I don't think I've worn one since I was like 6.
I've worn like the plastic ones too.
Like yeah, outside. Definitely by like downtown when you're at the Bean or something.
Yeah, just quickly put it on.
Yeah, a little shake and go.
But I also really like a long umbrella. They're so impractical, but I like the look.
Yes. Yeah, it's so classic.
Okay.
Timeless.
This is a killer umbrella, so it's different.
Yes.
All right. Georgi Markov was born in Niazevo, Bulgaria on March 1st, 1929. He was described as intelligent, funny, and a loud man. At first, he was studying to be an industrial engineer, but then he got sick and an illness kept him in the hospital where he started to write. Markov went on to write 4 novels, one of which won a national award, 2 collections of short stories, and several plays. He was well-liked and respected. Even the president invited him on hunting trips. However, as the political regime took more control, President Todor Zhivkov wanted Markov to start writing propaganda for him. Markov not only refused, but began writing articles criticizing the president and his regime, which of course is never received well by fascists, as we've seen lately.
Yeah, I know. I mean, do we really love the president doing what presidents do?
No, you have to
Nothing's
like
ever
the
changed.
president. It's not up to you. It's like you have to like the president.
Yeah, right.
That's the whole point.
So Basically, he was the Taylor Swift of Cold War Bulgaria. Critics and fans everywhere, and the regime just couldn't shake him off.
And also their like fan base is just as crazy.
Absolutely. Imagine if they had memes back then when all of this shit was going on.
Oh my God. They probably would have. That's terrible. I was going to say they probably would have killed him faster.
Listen, quick resolution, I guess. In 1969, the state pulled Markov's latest book from print and closed his place. Markov decided to defect to the West, to London, saying, quote, "I'm not wiser or braver than other men. I was, as the English say, fed up and left." In London, he started working for the BBC as a translator, made new friends, and started dating. In 1975, he married Annabelle Felk, and the following year they had a daughter. Markov had started a new life, however, the past still haunted him. The state would not let his dissent go unpunished. Markov received regular phone calls from some vague, menacing agent of the Bulgarian state, threatening him that he would be punished, poisoned, and that the Bulgarian consulate has a file of poisons ready to use.
Okay, so this is a crazy fact. Like, this is a real thing. The KGB had entire, like, files of different poisons, how to use them. And I think
Isn't
it's
that
insane.
insane?
I think it's insane. And same thing with, like, the weapons, which we'll talk about later. But I was like, but then just, like, calling people up and be like, hey, we got a bunch of stuff ready to go to, like, murder you with.
What I picture is like a guy in a long trench coat just going down the streets, and like, you know how they just open it and it's like full of pockets of like doilies and shit. That's what I imagine. It's just ready on
like,
command.
What kind of poison are you looking for? Like needles, pills, powders, gas.
Not even like in an alley, just like right front of everyone.
I kind of like that for like a movie. Just despite the threats, Markov stood 10 toes down on the fascist government. He regularly wrote for and spoke for Radio Free Europe, a radio broadcast created to spread information beyond the Iron Curtain of Eastern Europe. Markov boldly criticized President Zhukov and his regime, calling him a minor dictator with a second-rate sense of humor. And the target never left Markov's back.
Now, on the morning of September 7th, 1978, Georgi waited for the bus when he felt a sting on his thigh from a man walking past him with an umbrella. He later told his wife, Annabelle, that he had been jabbed with an umbrella tip, almost as if he didn't want to believe it himself, which I mean, come on. The next day, Georgi grew gravely ill. He was showing symptoms similar to those of the flu, very high fever, nausea, vomiting, and temperature drop, along with a very swollen and painful right thigh.
And on the morning of September 11th, Georgi was taken to the ICU. When he explained to the hospital staff what happened, one young doctor named Bernard Riley, who's still alive, by the way, laughed, and he said it sounded like a bad spy movie. They treated him for an infection, although he only worsened. Eventually, they started to suspect some kind of toxic poisoning was involved. His blood pressure and body temperature had dropped dangerously low, and he went into cardiac arrest. The doctors called it severe septic shock. In the days between, he insisted that he was the target of the Bulgarian state police. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he just knew that they were behind this. The doctors were very disturbed that they couldn't help him, and they started to suspect that maybe he was telling the truth. Georgi died on September 11th at 10:40 a.m. Soon after that, Scotland Yard, who, once they found out that Georgi was a defector from Bulgaria, sprang into action, opened an investigation that crossed borders and political lines and became an international scandal.
That's so bonkers. And to be fair, if someone walked into the ER today and said, I was poisoned by Putin, doctors might still roll their eyes until suddenly it's just not so fucking funny.
I mean, that's true. I would have to like ask a lot of follow-up questions. I'm like, what do you do? What did you say?
Yeah.
Who did you say it to?
And then I wonder too if like if this happened today, like would a psych eval or something be part of the investigation? Like would it be brought into play?
Oh, that's hard because like I guess it would depend on the political views of the staff. Because if you walked in and saying like, hey, I think President Trump sent an assassin after me.
Yeah.
Like, which side of the debate are they? I was like, oh, good, you should probably die. Or like, oh, you're insane. Okay, I wanted to bring up a little fun fact that I read today about Putin.
Okay.
Okay. You can cut this You can cut this out later if you want. But like, he visited America recently because President Trump's like his bestie. Uh, Apparently, whenever Putin goes to the bathroom, he has agents collect his waste to take it back to Russia so that his enemies cannot check it to see his health or DNA or his diet or anything like that.
Do you believe that shit?
I do. For Putin,
I mean, there's nothing I would put past him.
And they showed like some agent walking out with like a little briefcase, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a briefcase!"
Like he just shoplifted from Claire's or something.
That was just coming out of like, I don't know. It wasn't like out of the bathroom, but he was just. That's the picture they had. He was just carrying a little briefcase.
That's so gross.
But it's also like the crazy paranoia that these leaders have. Like they just don't want anyone to know anything about them.
To scoop up your leader's shit and put it in a briefcase. Like I cannot imagine. I can't imagine having a baby and like I cleaned up my nephew once and I will never do that shit ever again.
Like I would only ever do it for babies. Oh, and cats.
Cats.
But I was like, I'm not cleaning up anybody's excretions. Like I've had friends who like thrown up, and I was like, it's gonna wait for you till tomorrow, and you're gonna clean it up.
Yeah,
not my job. I just like, what's the interview like? Like, what's his job description? It's like, occasionally, when we travel abroad, we need you to scoop the president's shit.
There better be like a bonus for every single fucking turd or briefcase that I pick up. Because there's no way I'm doing that for base salary.
My God. Yeah. Bonus per turd. Okay. Anyways.
A turd bonus.
We can get back to Georgi Markov. Just a little tangent. Okay. All right. So Georgi Markov was dead. The autopsy revealed fluid in his lungs, damage to his liver, his intestines, the lymph nodes, and his heart were all riddled with hemorrhages, and his white blood cell count was like shockingly high. And they found a tiny puncture wound on the back of his right thigh. And these findings supported the poison theory.
Scotland Yard transferred Markov's body to Porton Down, a mysterious military lab specializing in biochemical warfare for analysis. Experts discovered a 1.52 millimeter metal pellet. The pellet was made from platinum and iridium so the body wouldn't reject it. So somewhere, a KGB scientist was like, what if jewelry, but deadly? Like coming to fall winter's fashion.
I mean, it's insane what they chose and how small it is.
Yeah. I don't know how people can look at like how the person who came up with like Scrub Daddy or someone who comes with like such a minute minute invention. It's like, I can't look, how did their brains do that? I mean, I guess if you're in the KGB, that's like part of the criteria. Like, show us how fucked up you really can be. How innovative are you?
It's like, think small, think deadly, and you can work here.
Literally think small.
Yeah, because this thing was like the size of, it said like the little ball at the end of a ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
That little.
Watching, this is totally off the rails. Watching, my husband and I are obsessed with My 600-Pound Life. And when Dr. Now,
wonderful.
The doctor, he brings in this, it's called the Da Vinci, I think. It's like a ginormous robot, and it's got like all these tentacles that he controls from a little like screen he puts his head in, and like little remote controls, and he's like performing surgery inside the person's body. Like, okay. And he's completely on the other side of the room. Like, it's fucking bonkers that he does that, but I can't imagine doing this with something as small as a ballpoint, like the head of the ballpoint pen.
I mean, they would have had to like use something small enough to like, put poison in there and then put it in an umbrella. What?
But like back then, I mean, I don't fucking know. KGB is gonna KGB, so can't question it. But seriously, the makeup is important. So unlike iron or steel, these metals would not be rejected by the body. The two tiny holes on one side once held the poison, which was likely sealed with wax that melted at body temperature. The poison itself was gone. The pellet was actually, like we said, a jeweler's watch bearing, which is used in precision watchmaking. Being so small, it was hard to handle. The lab technician had to crawl on all floors after dropping it multiple times, which, fuck no. If I dropped it once, I'm pissed.
No, okay, so
It's like building IKEA furniture.
it's worse because it's so small. Like I have a lip ring, and sometimes I'll lose the little like ball. I'm literally crawling on the floor. But I saw a documentary on this, and the like lab technician himself was talking, and he's like, I would drop it and then roll around the floor, and we're freaking out, and he would sweep all the garbage into a pile, and then pour it into like a beaker of water. Because the pellet will immediately sink, and that's how they would find it.
Holy shit, that's bonkers.
But also, it's like this is evidence. Like you're losing very crucial part of it. Like this is the only thing we know that says like someone's been poisoned.
Right. It couldn't be me. Sorry.
Bad eyesight. You wouldn't be able to find it.
I have double astigmatism, and I'm nearsighted and farsighted. I couldn't do this shit to save my life. Yeah. Not for me.
So he didn't lose it. He kept finding it, and they kept investigating. But still, Scotland Yard was stumped. They had never seen anything like this. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like it since. Taking Georgi's story seriously, the investigators found another target, a second victim. His name was Vladimir Kostov, and he was also a Bulgarian defector. 2 weeks earlier, before Georgi Markov's attack, in Paris, Vladimir was exiting the metro when he heard a small pop, and then he felt a sting on his back. He turned to see a man rushing away onto the next train, but he didn't see an umbrella, though. Later, he fell ill with the exact same symptoms that Georgi had, and thankfully, he survived.
What are the odds? 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, and he was like the first one, too, so it's like...
Yeah. And it wasn't even a good test run.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was like, was this a test run, or he's just like, oh, this failed. Also, like the assassin be like, oh, damn, I messed that up. My bosses are going to be so
can you
mad.
Imagine? Exactly. Can you imagine going back to the office or calling them back? It's like, well, fuck.
Look, I shot him in the back and it still didn't work. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it. Vladimir, the second victim, was treated aggressively for infections and toxicity. Investigators concluded that his survival was due to an extra layer of a winter coat. Slowed by the fabric, they think that the pellet didn't penetrate as deep, releasing less of the poison into the bloodstream. They surgically removed the tissue around Kostov's wound, and they found an identical pellet. They now had 2 Bulgarian defectors poisoned in the same way 2 weeks apart. They'd both been receiving death threats by the phone before that, which is why you don't ever answer your phone.
I mean, all they had was phones back then. I mean, okay, but also this is clear now. You can't just have like 2 people from the same country attempted murder the same way. And I think like Vladimir Kostov was so lucky because they're saying it was just because he was wearing a coat that it didn't like go deep enough than it did in Georgi.
Right.
Which is fascinating. So, and like he survived, and I saw like an interview with him, and he was just very, I mean, he was a really old man, but he seemed way more dejected than like Georgi was. Georgi always seemed like really defiant, but he was just like, yeah, this is just what happens when you badmouth the KGB or the Bulgarian president. So at this point, it was a safe assumption that the assassination orders came from the East. You know, Bulgaria, that general, the country they were both from. But what investigators didn't know was how did they do it and who was this assassin? And in Georgi's case, they look into the detail of the man dropping an umbrella, a seemingly like normal long black umbrella that was modified into a weapon. The inner pole was hollowed and filled with pressurized gas, and when the button that would normally open the umbrella was pressed, a gas released and fired a pellet from the tip. And it's just devious and ingenious.
It just sounds very like Batman. Like, yeah. This is like, how the hell is this?
Isn't it?
Was this even
like
a real thing?
The penguin who has like a killer umbrella?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like,
he does.
One's like a gun and one's like a shield. Like, yeah, he would totally have a poison pellet umbrella.
My favorite is when he like pushes up his umbrella and it pops down, and he like puts his foot on it and he just hooks up and he flies away.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's
He
my
has got his own
favorite.
helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew the umbrella was so versatile?
I fucking love that, man. The poison was carefully chosen to match. The pellet could only hold 0.2 of a gram of poison. That's 10 times smaller than a lethal dose of cyanide. So this must have been very powerful to kill in such a small dose. They narrowed it down to toxins of this strength like plutonium, abrin, ricin, and some snake venoms. Abrin and ricin can be found deadly in microscopic amounts if injected into the bloodstream.
Yeah, which is terrifying. Like,
Very
microscopic amounts, because like, I feel like you always hear of cyanide as being like the killer poison, or like the the suicide poison,
right?
But this was like 10 times less than that, and it's usually like a little pill of cyanide.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like, for me, I always kind of imagine like someone just walks by you and like brushes it on you, and now you're gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not like that. It needs to get into the bloodstream, but like that's what I picture of how awful this toxin is. All right, so they started looking at the two toxins, abrin and ricin. Abrin is very rare and difficult to produce, so they started looking at ricin. And ricin is a natural product that's made from plant material, specifically the castor bean. So it's the same thing that they use to produce castor oil, except that this is a like highly purified version of it. It's ranked at one of the top 3 most toxic materials by weight. Ricin, unlike rapidly moving nerve agents, moves slowly through the body. It opens doors to your cells and shuts down protein production, which is a death sentence for the cell. And once it hits your bloodstream, it quickly spreads and affects every organ of the body.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, that's why like poisons are so terrifying. It's like a small amount, but it'll destroy your entire body.
I guess what makes a poison. But damn it, that's so scary.
I'm like, it's still like, I still don't fully understand like how a small, tiny amount can spread that far. Like how very little can spread and also just shut down like all your organs. It seems
that's so quickly. Oh my God.
Insane. Yeah. It seems like how, I don't know, like it makes it look like your body almost seems fragile. Like this one thing in a tiny amount.
In all the Grey's Anatomy I've watched, I've yet to learn about that. So I guess to be continued. The investigators at Porton Down tested ricin on a pig of the same weight as Georgie by injecting it with the same amount they believed was in the pellet. The poor pig got sick and died within 2 days.
I mean, I want to object. Leave that poor pig alone. But like, I also kind of get it. Like they needed to test it to make sure like this is it.
I know.
But that's so sad.
I've always been like highly empathetic towards animals,
like tested.
And as a former, as a former vegan, and like this just like anything with animals just breaks my fucking heart.
You used to be a vegan.
I was for 187 days. I couldn't even go for a full 200.
Yeah, I was like, why
such a
were
fucking wimp.
You were counting?
Well, I had a little like day up counter on my phone, like a little widget.
Yeah.
And
keep
like
you honest.
It was more, yes, keep me honest, keep me motivated, and to be like, holy shit, like I'm still doing it. But then like one day I had a crash out. I was fucking starving, so I gave in for Culver's and I had chicken strips, and it was so worth it.
Just gonna ask him like, what was it? What was it that just tempted you into breaking it? That's fair. Yeah, they're devious like that. Like, you want ice cream?
Yeah. We definitely got a what do they call it? Not a mixer. No, it is a mixer. A concrete mixer.
That sounds right. Yeah, you're supposed to like flip it upside down and it should no, is that
that's Dairy Queen. That's Dairy Queen. That's a Blizzard. Okay, anyways. Poor piggy, but an autopsy revealed identical damage to all the organs, just like Georgie.
And it fit the MO of a KGB assassination, which is it must be quiet, unnoticed, and appear natural. The target should have reason to believe that this is an accident. An umbrella would not have seen out of place in London, and if Georgie hadn't spoken up about what happened, or his suspicions that this was an attempt on his life, The doctors would have just ruled it a natural death from cardiac arrest caused by an infection.
Bulgaria didn't have the capability to produce ricin, but their big brother, Russia, did. Who's fucking surprised?
Surprise.
This strengthened the theory of a joint operation between the Bulgarian state and the KGB. Declassified CIA files later confirmed that the Soviets not only manufactured ricin, but also developed specialized weapons like the umbrella gun. The KGB even maintained an entire catalog of spy gadgets and poison. Again, it's the guy with the long trench coat. Yep. He's just stacked to the nines.
He just like took a trip to Bulgaria and he's like, hey, which one do you think would be best for this situation? But I also looked up these spy gadgets. They made everything into like an injectable weapon for their poisons. They were like
scary.
I mean, there were pens, the umbrellas. There was one. My favorite was the wooden spoon.
You told me about this. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it was like just a complete innocuous object. But yeah, I recommend look it up. It's insane. And I'm sure they still have these sort of things. So from there, the investigation stalled out. The Iron Curtain was up, so no one was talking, and there were just whispers coming out that suggested that the Bulgarian state had archives of all of the information that they needed, that it had all of the truth. And it wasn't until the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1990 that the case was reopened. The following year, 1991, President Todor Zhivkov, our favorite, was deposed and placed under house arrest. At a press conference, a British journalist asked him outright, who ordered the assassination of Georgi Markov? Who killed Georgi Markov? And Zhivkov just dodged the question. He was grinning and he kind of made a joke out of it. And he's just like, you've already given the answer in your question. It was the poison umbrella.
What a smug son of a bitch. So after Markov defected in 1969, President Zhivkov had Georgi erased from all media. His books were pulled, plays ended, and his name erased from nearly all archives. He had also censored the news of Georgi's death. His family only found out through word of mouth from other friends, which is fucked.
It's so fucked.
I mean, it's not surprising.
It's like
so
the classic fascist move of keeping information from people.
But also, what a little bitch move! Just put his fucking death out there.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's like the classic book burning and then pretend they didn't exist, even though he was still trying to murder them. But yeah, I can't imagine the family, because I'm sure Georgi couldn't contact his family. So, just finding out some friend is like, hey, I heard Georgi's dead.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
You want to hear what I heard through the grapevine?
Yeah, it's an umbrella. It was just did him in.
The fucking umbrella.
All right. So with the fall of the Bulgarian state, Scotland Yard finally gained access to the new government for cooperation. Bulgaria even launched its own investigation into Georgi's death, and that was led by Detective Bogdan Karatoyev. And he started looking through all the state security archives because now they had access to them and they weren't sealed. They weren't going to hand them over to foreign governments, but now he was investigating. And Bogdan uncovered a chilling file on Georgi. They found that his codename was Skitnik, which means a tramp or vagrant. So I'm sure it's meant to be derogatory towards him. And this file outlined detailed plans to neutralize him. That's the word they used, neutralize it. And it even identified the operative assigned to carry this out. And his codename was Agent Piccadilly.
Piccadilly, that just rolls off the tongue.
I know, I'm that sounds Skedaddle. Like such a cool spy name. But he's a terrible assassin, Agent Piccadilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, there was a suspect, or at least a codename. But who exactly was Agent Piccadilly? That trail went cold fast. The files that could have revealed his identity had been destroyed. Later, a former general named Vladimir Todorov admitted that he was the one who burned them. After the collapse, he fled to Moscow, but eventually returned to Bulgaria to stand trial. He was sentenced to 16 months in prison, though he only served 6. After that, he slipped back to Russia, living quietly and never revealing a single state secret.
Okay, so there's a lot in there. Because he was the general. He was the general, second in command next to the president. And the only thing he was being charged with was destroying state evidence, which is destroying these files. And they only sentenced him to 16 months in prison, but he got out after 6. So like
Yeah.
that's insane. And it also just like
Yeah.
it makes me think like Inside Job.
100%. Yes.
You know, like the people that were prosecuting them were still just like part of the same group. They're just making a show of
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. There's no way they weren't.
Right. No, and then he never wanted to tell any of the secrets. Like the journalist kept hounding them, and he had like a secretary who just like berated people in Russian. Like he's got nothing to say about that. Like don't ask any questions. It's in the past. He's moving on. I'm like, oh my god,
it's in the past.
Yeah,
God
you know, it's just like fascist takeover and assassinations, but it's in the past. So Detective Bogdan kept digging, and eventually he found a document referencing the identity of Agent Piccadilly. It led him to a nomadic man named Francesco Guilino. And he was known to travel across borders in all of Europe with the cover of being an art dealer. So, could this be our mysterious assassin? According to a Bulgarian journalist, his name was Hirsto Hirstov, Guilino was an occasional smuggler, arrested twice in Bulgaria. And when he was arrested, the government gave him a choice of either going to prison or becoming a secret agent in the West. And you
That's
can
a
guess
no-brainer.
which option he chose. Yeah, like prison in Bulgaria or, you know, work for us.
Yeah.
Don't blame him. Don't.
He didn't choose his life.
He really didn't. Like he was just smuggling art across the border. Okay, so he was based in Copenhagen, and Guilino was supposedly active from like 1965 to like 1990, when the Soviet Union fell, by the way. And he had received 2 Bulgarian state medals for services to security and public order. And this is kind of wrapped in its mystery in its own because they don't say what he did to get those medals. So a lot of people assume that like it was for, you know, carrying out these assassinations.
You know what? It sounds like fucking Rudy Giuliani too, getting his fucking medal. What did this son of a bitch do?
Yeah, the like Presidential Medal of Honor or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, thank you for lying to the American public for years and years. Yep. Here's a medal.
Fucking bastard. Oh my god. All right. Let's not.
Okay.
Well, records show that Guilino had visited London 3 times before Georgi's death, staying in a house near Georgi's own home. He later admitted to being in London at the time of the assassination. Are your cats rustling? It sounds like they body slammed.
He wants attention. No, he's wrestling with a tunnel.
Oh.
He's got a cute little like tunnel that he like jumps into.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Can you excuse me, sir? I'm working. Do you mind?
He's not. No, he does mind. Very much so.
Very much. Yeah.
Like you were gone all day.
No, it's literally it. I'm like, I haven't played with them, and he's very upset.
Oh, well, we're almost done. We'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah. I'll smother them later.
He later admitted being in London at the time of the assassination, but denied any involvement in murder or espionage. In 1993, Guilino was arrested for espionage in Denmark. A grueling 3-country interrogation followed, involving Danish, British, and Bulgarian authorities. After the exhaustive questioning, Guilino was released, no charges were filed, and the case remained unsolved.
The police said that they didn't have enough evidence to hold him, that it was all circumstantial. So, okay, I think this is time for a segment we're going to call Armchair Speculation, where we just speculate wildly.
We need like cool, like
wild.
I don't know. We need some sort of like sparklers and music to go behind that.
Can you put it in there? Like Armchair Speculation.
Yeah. With hella echo.
Or it's like those like the Zether sounds, the little weird sci-fi sounds like
or it's just like a squeaky chair, just like
just like the farting noises of a chair. This is our sitting in our armchairs.
Oh fuck, that's funny.
Okay, so I have to speculate wildly here because I can't fucking believe this. So they were tracking him, finally arrested him in Denmark after he was, crossing borders and smuggling shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 different government agencies interviewed him, and all 3 let him go, which sounds insane to me.
Yeah.
Because one, like, sure, like no evidence, circumstantial, maybe. Mm-hmm. But like what, you couldn't find something to hold him in, like while you investigate.
Right.
My feeling is that Guilino, Agent Piccadilly, still had friends in the right places.
Definitely.
Or he had something like bad on them, like some sort of blackmail sort of thing, to where like, if you don't let me go, this is going to be released.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed really weird. So like, it made me think like maybe someone in Bulgaria or even the KGB itself was still protecting him. Yeah, it's one of those to where like, I was like, oh, we have to let him go. Why? Don't worry about it.
Right. Right.
Just shut up.
What are the performance reviews like in the KGB? Like, if I get put on a PIP, I'm fucking pissed.
I mean, Guilino probably was on a PIP for failing the first one. He's like, hey,
definitely.
He didn't die, so do better.
Yeah. Goddamn jacket.
Do better, sir.
Oh
my god! But they must have had some sort of review process, right?
Had to have. There's got to be quality assurance.
Like.
Or maybe when he got back to the office, they're like, all right, you put on your jacket. Now we're going to stab you in the same fashion to see how that goes.
Yep. We're going to show you how you failed. I mean, he did get awards, so there was some sort of review process.
Absolutely.
I mean, he obviously didn't get an award for Vladimir, but
no.
So I don't know. That's insane.
It is wild. It is so wild.
Yeah. No, it seems so very suspicious. It's one of those like conspiracy theorists sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like the government was in on it sort of thing. Because, as that was like the only real lead of who did it.
Right.
And then nothing else came after that. And like,
it's really giving
one person that was like in the files that said this person was activated to kill somebody.
Yeah. It's really giving OJ trial energy. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's got to be a joke in there. Okay. That was my conspiracy theory. I was like, he had someone covering for him, and the three governments were like, we can't do anything about it.
I feel like it's almost as simple as that. Like, I can't really like think of any other theories beyond that.
I mean, I tried giving them the benefit of the doubt. So like they said all their stuff is circumstantial, which is true. They just like had this weird file from Bulgaria, and he wasn't like, I don't know if he was actually like named by name, his Francesco name, or just Agent Piccadilly, or it's unclear how exactly they connected that agent code name to him.
Right.
But like, what would they need? Like, if they found he still had like the umbrella in his roaming van or something, like that makes sense. So like, I tried giving the benefit of the doubt that like, oh yeah, well, we didn't have like actual physical evidence to say like you killed him, but
right,
it was just too much. It was too much like coincidental stuff. Like, he was in London 3 times and was just, and he also went to Paris a few times, and then he was like staying close to Georgie's place, and then he was like in London when the whole incident happened, which is circumstantial, but with everything else is like, oh well, we already think you did it.
Oh shit. Well, all of that goes to say the Bulgarian statute of limitations for espionage expired in 2008, 30 years later. Francesco Guilino lived out his nomadic life and died in 2021. Holy shit.
Which is insane.
Insane.
Because, like, the Cold War feels like ages ago.
Yeah, like where everything was black and white.
Yeah.
It was all just Betty Boop.
Everything was on black and white. There was no internet. It was just like radio and like really grainy TV footage.
Yeah.
But no, he lived till 2021. That was like 5 years ago. And like, they never went after him again.
He got out so fucking easily.
It's one of those like cases that we're sure who did it, but it was never proven and he was never convicted, and they never like went after him again for Markov's death, and then
Yeah.
they just left it unsolved. Okay,
Well-
so that was the crazy story of Georgi Markov murdered by a poison umbrella.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Just sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. Or like
I'm like, this could
X-Files.
be it should be a X-File or a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it hasn't been already. Like, that sounds
You know what?
like
Don't
the
even
intrigue
give
and
Hollywood any
everything.
more ideas. James Bond needs to fucking wrap it up. That shit needs to stop.
Wrap it up.
Okay, well, that was fun. I think I'm so glad to, well, not I think, I know I'm so glad to be back behind the mic. I am so glad for everything that's to come. I'm very
glad
excited.
to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I'm excited. I don't want to say too much, but I'm excited.
Yeah, no. I feel the excitement. There's a lot coming. There's going to be many more episodes, and we're hilarious. So it should
if
be
only
great.
you could see our Google Calendar, you guys. Well, as always, our goal is to honor the victims, shed light, and never sensationalize the story.
Yeah, definitely focus on the victim, focus on the people who suffered because of these things, and not kind of glorify the person that committed these things.
Right.
And if this show helped you see or think of something differently or see something differently, we'd love for you to share it with us, share it with your friends, share it with everyone.
Yes. Make sure to please follow or subscribe so you don't miss next week's case. I'm excited to say that we are going to do weekly episodes, which is so exciting, and it's a big change of pace. But I'm just I'm giddy to get to the next episode. But with that, if you're new here, you can follow us on Instagram at Your Next Pod. You can follow the same handle on YouTube, TikTok. There's no content there, so don't get your hopes up, but it's coming.
But we're going to be everywhere.
100%.
It'll be there.
Yes. So before you go searching for your next episode, or before you binge listen our older episodes, wink wink, please leave us a 5-star review or a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It will help us reach more listeners and just put a smile on our cute little faces and just help us grow with us.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Be careful out there, or you're next.
Ooh, the stare into the camera, that's what did it.
Okay.
Ding, that's the one.
Again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it's so good.
It is really good.
Being really sinister at the end of
Me too.
be careful or you're next.
I know. It makes me want to twirl my hair and be like, ooh, am I? All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.